Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
3 suspects charged with assault in a Danville shooting faced a judge this afternoon.
How a small Kentucky community is rallying behind a mother after her 13-month-old son died last week.
And it's said to be one of the most dangerous weekends for drivers. Coming up, more on how the Lexington Fire Department is working to keep you safe. WKYT News at 5:30 starts now.
Good evening to you. 3 people charged with assault and robbery in a central Kentucky shooting were back in court this afternoon.
Rico Penix, Robin Adams, and Patrick Brand had their preliminary hearing in Boyle County. Police say the 3 robbed the Danville Domino's last month and shot the clerk. 2 other people have also been arrested in connection to this case. WKYT's Jordan Valines is in the newsroom now with more on their hearing. She has our top story at 5:30.
Today in court, police discussed the evidence that led them to arrest the 3 suspects who are now facing charges of assault and robbery. During the preliminary hearing for the 3 suspects in last month's Domino's robbery and shooting, Detective Lisa Graff with Danville Police talked about the night the shooting was reported. She said police were able to get an emergency ping from the phone that called in the fake delivery order, leaving a 21-year-old Domino's employee, Zoe Reed, alone in the store. The ping linked police to Patrick Brand, who said he was with Robin Adams that night. Today in court, Adams confessed that she picked up Patrick and Rico Penix the night of the shooting, and that Penix, along with the 16-year-old, went into the Domino's that night. Zoe Reed later told police that the men demanded her to hand over money, and Zoe identified the possible shooter as Rico Penix. During today's hearing, Rico tried to talk to one of the other suspects, prompting the judge to order him 179 days direct contempt with no bond. Robin Adams and Seth Frazier's cases were sent to the grand jury, but Patrick Brand's case was rescheduled for October 22nd because he was without a public defender. After today's hearing, we spoke with Zoe Reed's father outside of the courtroom, and he told us that her recovery process will take anywhere from 18 months to 2 years. In the newsroom, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Danville police tell us that Zoe Reed suffered 1 gunshot wound to the chest area, and because of that, she has lost 1 kidney, her spleen, part of her liver, and part of her colon.
A central Kentucky community is rallying together to support a family hit hard by tragedy. Last Friday, 13-month-old Christopher Preston was found injured at a Junction City home. The toddler was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police say Preston was in the care of 25-year-old Joseph Adams at the time. He's been charged with murder. According to the Advocate Messenger, the Boyle County Economic Development Partnership is planning to donate a plot in the cemetery to the family. The Stith Funeral Home has offered to cover funeral cost. Well, another day of scattered showers here in the Bluegrass, and if you have been outside today, you've probably noticed it is downright nasty. I guess it is unless you like the rain.
That's right. Rain is good, but let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, and hopefully he's got a little sunshine or something positive somewhere in the next couple of days.
Yeah, guys, rain's a good thing. I think the ducks are even complaining right now that it is too wet outside. But yeah, Sam, I am tracking a little sunshine the deeper we get into the week. Now, we've got to wait until Friday to get a lot of that sun into town. Check out a couple of cams from across the area. Jackson, southeastern Kentucky, where the colors are beginning to show. The low clouds, fog, and showers showing up there. And on our Frankfort cam as well, where it's a soggy trip home for a lot of folks. Rains continue to pick up across central and western parts of Kentucky around that big area of low pressure. A couple of stop-ins on Live First Alert Defender for the Lexington Metro. Plan on those showers picking up in coverage and intensity. Nicholasville down toward northern parts of Garrett County along 27. Get into Richmond and Berea. Rainy conditions working northbound across Interstate 75. Now, if you're southbound on 75, it's pretty much more of the same from the Rockcastle County area through Laurel County into Whitley County. Rains to our west and southwest along the Bluegrass Parkway will continue to roll their way toward the northeast. That is aimed right at the I-75 corridor in the coming hours. Now, underneath the clouds and the rain, those temperatures today staying in the 50s for most of central and eastern Kentucky. The nasty weather continues for one more day. I'm watching the weekend that does have some good, but green thumbs. Potential is there for frosty cold temperatures. We'll tell those when I come back in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. In our county-by-county coverage at 5:30, we are tracking stories out of Mercer, Bracken, and Jessamine counties. In Mercer County, deputies are investigating an early morning shooting. Deputies say they were called out to a domestic disturbance on Gash Road. When they arrived, they found the victim with a gunshot wound. Investigators say Jarrett Sheets' wife shot him in the upper body. He was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. In Bracken County, Kentucky State Police are investigating a deadly morning crash. Police say 19-year-old Gregory Spaulding was driving down Kentucky 10 near Brooksville when he ran off the road. We're told that his car went over an embankment and hit a tree. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in that car was taken to the hospital with some injuries, but she was released this morning. And in Jessamine County, book lovers will have to find a different library this month. The county library is closed through the rest of October while staff move the books to a temporary location. The temporary library will be open on November 2nd on Computex Drive. That's next to Alltech. This is also so they can expand the Main Street location. But don't worry, though, many online resources will still be available, like ebooks, magazines, and even music.
Many of us have older family members who live on their own. We want to trust that they will be able to take care of themselves for as long as possible. But sometimes that leads to disaster by way of scam artists.
I have no idea how it all started, but
She says she doesn't understand how her well-educated father got mixed up with a scam artist.
I kind of discovered it in the middle of the process when he was trying to charge a hotel bill on his credit card, and his credit limit had been maxed out.
She asked him why, and he said he was buying coins and stamps, and the man he was dealing with charged his card.
And I just thought, that's kind of bizarre behavior, but I trusted my dad and I didn't want to question him.
Now she regrets that she let it go. Her father was not only involved in the coin scam, he was also spending his money on a bogus lottery sweepstake.
One day he did say that he was in trouble, in financial trouble. I just thought this can't be possible because my dad is a really smart person.
Her father has since passed away, but she believes he lost more than $100,000.
To her shock and surprise, going through his belongings, she noticed on his desk he had numerous solicitations from fraudulent offers in the mail. He literally had stacks and stacks on his desk.
Inspectors learned the coin business was also a scam.
The amount he was paying compared to the value of the coins was absurd. A $10 coin, for example, would cost $500.
I really want to prevent other people from experiencing what my family experienced.
Her first piece of advice, intervene.
I wish I had asked him a lot more questions about it.
You know that these individuals worked their whole lives saving their money, they've earned their living, and then you have some scammer who just comes along and literally takes everything away from them, and they have no scruples. They will take every penny that these individuals have.
Well, it can be tricky, but if you can, take the time to talk to older family members about their financial dealings. Watch the mail coming in if possible. You may save them from getting scammed. Election day now only about 3 weeks away, and the candidates are pulling out all the stops as this race heats up.
And this year's election day will bring some changes after a Kentucky judge struck down an electioneering law. Bill Bryant has the bottom line.
Good evening. As the clock seems to be ticking faster toward the November election, now less than 3 weeks away, some big decisions are being made about strategy and where to put money in the campaigns. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee has gone off the air in Kentucky after spending more than $2 million trying to help Allison Lundergan Grimes in her bid to upset Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell. The National Democrats are shifting more resources to a Senate battle down in Georgia. But it also comes as former Secretary of State, U.S. Senator, and First Lady Hillary Clinton is campaigning for Grimes in Louisville this evening, and as Grimes announces that she raised nearly $5 million in the last quarter. Meanwhile, McConnell continues to press the case that Kentucky would be giving up a lot of influence in Washington if it denied him a 6th term in D.C. Republicans circulated a New York Times piece today called The Upshot that relies on a number of factors to say there's a 72% chance that Republicans will take take control of the Senate. McConnell says that would make him the majority leader. The McConnell campaign released a new ad today that talks about his support for money to speed up DNA testing in rape cases. Your Election Day experience could be different now that a federal judge has struck down Kentucky's law that banned electioneering within 300 feet of a polling place. Judge William Bartelsman says the state law violated the U.S. Constitution's First and 14th Amendments. Fayette County Clerk Don Blevins Jr. says the Attorney General is now looking at the ruling and plans to provide some guidance before Election Day. Turns out that Senate debate on KET the other night was the most watched PBS program in the country that evening. KET estimates more than 133,000 people tuned in for Kentucky Tonight when Bill Goodman hosted McConnell and Grimes. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
The goal is to keep you safe on the roads, and that's why this weekend the Lexington Fire Department is urging drivers to eliminate distracted driving. They say the third weekend in October is one of the most dangerous for drivers in Lexington. Now, to urge people to not text and drive, Wreck-Free Day will be this Sunday. The slogan is, one text or call could wreck it all.
It may be because of all the fall events or people looking at the leaves. Maybe they're distracted for that. But this weekend is a concern to us, and we want to remind everybody to keep those things in mind when they're thinking about distraction.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 660,000 drivers use cell phones while driving. It takes an average of 4.6 seconds to take your eyes off the road to read or send a text.
All right, mark this down. October 25th is going to be a big day here in the Bluegrass. The Kentucky Wildcats football team will play right here on CBS as they take on #1 ranked Mississippi State. It is also the final day of Keeneland's fall meet, so the track will host a daily double tailgate watch party on the hill. Tailgaters will be able to watch both live racing and CBS Sports coverage of the Kentucky game on big screen TVs.